This morning I went to Oriental Teahouse for their Lunar New Year Yum Cha, and I went alone, and I think it was a really family oriented event, and it was lovely to see couples and families with children, or just friends, celebrating together and eating delicious yum cha at like a really great food establishment in Melbourne. For me, it sort of meant a little bit more because I knew I wanted to go there maybe like a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and I asked my friends, and they sort of weren't available. And so this whole last week I was thinking like, am I still going? Even though it's just me. And I normally don't let things like that stop me from going, but I think because it's yum cha, it's food designed to share, and you get to taste so much more when you go with other people. I think that made me just question it a little bit more. But yesterday I realized that I would regret it if I didn't go, and I'm so glad I did, because I came home with some tea. As always, this one, they don't serve this tea, so you can't go in for a cup of it. Today with my yum cha, I drank their pu-erh, which is lovely. I love an earthy pu-erh. I don't think they put chrysanthemum flowers with it, which is sort of my preference and my home habit. But this rice Tou Cha is delicious. It's tea time. And if you go in, you can, they do the whole tea table with little cups, and you get to like sip 3 or 4 different types, and they have some iced ones and some that are like a little bit sweet, and their strawberry or raspberry and lime smelt really good. And they have the Iron Buddha oolong they have is a great classic oolong, very tasty. But I love my toasty flavours in tea, as we all know. So this rice Tou Cha, it's a green tea which is considered flavoursome, fresh and natural. And I'll show you what they are. It's like a cake, a tea cake. It's smells okay. I love that smell. Oh, yum. And it's actually sort of hollow. So, and you can either break it in half or put the whole thing in a pot, top it up with 95-degree water, let it steep for a few minutes depending on how strong you like it. I like mine quite strong. And then you can keep pouring, you can keep brewing for maybe 2 or 3, 4 times depending on your preference. So it says these compact nest-like structures blossom to produce a taste reminiscent of warm popcorn. I love that. Warm popcorn indeed. So the first time I had a full cup of this, I was actually at Oriental Teahouse, and I didn't know that they didn't serve it on their menu, but I asked for it and they did it for me, which was just very sweet of them. It's green tea infused with glutinous rice. Beautiful. It says the benefits are a bundle of goodness that is green tea awaits in these mini bird nest shapes that unfurl before your eyes. Yum, yum, yum. Yeah, and it mentions that you can refill with boiling water several times. So, it's a beautiful colour. To me, it's more of a pu-erh. It's really earthy. It's not a Japanese sencha. it's not a jasmine, like it's just not a green tea. It might originate like that, and the ingredient might be green tea, but flavour profile wise, it's on the earthy, the dry, the strawy, the toasty. It's in the toasty group. Yeah, the warm popcorn words that they've used are really beautiful words to use, because it's so true. Rice flavoured popcorn, perhaps. And it has a little bit of the end that a pu-erh has. It's not necessarily acidic, but it's just that dry bitterness that you sometimes get. And it smells like it tastes. It smells amazing. If you can hear the little squeals and happy sounds of glee in the background, that would be because today is quite a warm day. There is no wind, thankfully for me, and I'm sure somewhere out there in the neighbourhood there are some kids making a water slide, or maybe they're in a blow-up pool or something. Wish I could join them. I love this tea. This is my second cup, and it's just beautiful. I've been told by my acupuncturist and Chinese herbalist to eat more of the element of earth, and that means earthy foods, so more roots, more root vegetables, more whole grains. And I do naturally feel attracted to whole grains, and like I adore spelt pasta, and I will go out of my way to find a really good spelt loaf in Melbourne. And so it's really interesting that either maybe subconsciously, or maybe since we had that discussion, I'm feeling more attracted to earthy teas. And I'm not sure what the difference between a slightly earthier green tea versus a slightly more fragrant or floral or well-rounded green tea would have on my health, or my dietary component of health. But I'm just finding it quite fascinating. Feeling, it's not cravings anymore. I've definitely been working on that enough. It's an attraction. It's a magnetism. I feel attracted to certain foods more, and my body speaks to me more about, getting some more sweet potato, having a really good warm roast vegetable salad. And that's one of the interesting things, is even though the element of earth regarding foods in TCM is about late summer, there's still no cold foods. Raw salads are a no-no, or eat less of food. Raw fruits, raw vegetables, cold foods, ice creams, iced drinks, they're still not advised, even in a late summer sort of element. And it really sort of proves the point that, maybe our bodies are better off having a similar temperature status inside and out. So on a hot day, drinking warm tea, it's not a bad thing. Maybe I do feel a little hot, and maybe that might change my posture a bit. Maybe I'm feeling a little bit more expansive. But maybe that actually helps me release the heat from within. I'm not sure. I don't know the science behind it, but it's definitely something interesting to think about it. Especially when it comes to flavours that I desire. And this beautiful flavour. The Rice Tou Cha by Oriental Teahouse. They have 2 locations that I know of. 3 actually. There's the restaurant in the CBD on Little Collins Street, and there's a place in South Yarra that I haven't been to. And they have a little takeaway sort of place in Brunswick where they do teas and dumplings, which I haven't been to, but I have seen. So if you like your teas and you like your jasmines, your oolongs, your pu-erh, if you like red dates in your tea, you can also watch my video on drinking tea at Oriental Teahouse when I went for drinking tea out in Melbourne. But there was some really beautiful different teas that they have, and there's quite a few on their menu that you can drink, and then there's quite a few that you can also buy and take home and drink for yourself. I'll see you next time for another tea video. Stay well.